Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to tear apart this transmission and motor assembly that you can buy for the Traxxas. I believe it's a TRX4M, as in Mini or Mike. And this happens to be the low geared. Now it's either so low geared that I cannot get a good grab on it and turn it manually, or there's something in a bind on the inside. So the first thing to do would be to perform a visual inspection and make sure that, like here, I don't know how discernible that is on camera, there's a seam, right? There's two case halves that run all the way around this thing. We want to make sure that there's no gaps in there, and I am not seeing any as of this moment. The only thing that looks odd to me is the motor, and that could be because the motor has got a slight rounded edge to it, and then the transmission, very nicely done, also has easements done, right? So that's where all that shiny bits is they ease the aluminum, so there's no sharp edges right here. Appears to be a ball bearing in there. I really like what appears to be a steel shaft right there. Let's see, let's grab a magnet and find out. Yes, that is magnetic. Okay, so that's steel, at least we know that part. Aluminum case, no, right? So it's an aluminum case, obviously a steel screw, and it is a moon shape. I don't know how well that can show up on camera, but there is a moon shape with a through hole in it. So let's try and find a bit that will work. And to me, visually, it looks like an Allen. I don't know. Let's zoom in on this. Maybe I'm wrong. Is that an Allen? I still can't tell, because the camera's kind of like way down out of my view. It looks like an Allen, but let me see if I can find one. I mean, I got a big fucking selection of bits way back there, right? A whole bunch of them. Surely something's got to work. Well, that one kind of, it fits in there, but it's a little loosey-goosey. Nobody wants loosey-goosey. Let's go to the next size up. Fucking dog. And that one doesn't fit. So, although it looks like an Allen, it's probably not an Allen. Let's go to a Torx. If I force it in there, the Torx feels nice, and that's a good indicator that that is more than likely the correct size bit, because it's able to hang inside there. More than likely, that's the correct one. Now, where did my driver go? Now, here it is. Let's see how tight these things are. Move some stuff out of my way real quick here. I'm not sure how well I'll be able to do this on camera, because I really can't see what the hell is going on. Is it coming loose? Yeah, it's coming loose. Okay, let me grab a magnet. Put the screws on the magnet so I don't lose them. Take the whole bit with you. Wow, that's stuck on there. That's a good bit right there. Rex, knock it off. My goodness. Not terribly tight on that one. The first one felt really tight. If anything else, we'll see if it's lubricated or something inside there. I mean, it looks like a really nicely made piece, but for some reason, it just seems ungodly tight. I mean, you can grab a hold of a servo, even a high torque servo, and you can twist it. You know, and get some rotation out of it. I don't think it's that high geared. I mean, maybe it is, maybe I'm wrong. I'd rather be wrong, but either way, we'll take it apart. We'll carefully try and slide this apart here on camera. Let's see what we get here. Turn one side up. Okay, there's a case. There's a case half here. It's got two bearings in it. I don't see any scoring or scratches or anything to that nature. There's a little bit of grease there. not seeing anything on the gear, at least the gear that might touch the case, which might be that one. I'm not seeing anything abnormal there. Let me grab a clean paper. Let me grab a clean paper towel and drop these gears down in order. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just a figment of my imagination. Hopefully that's all it is. So there's a case half. Here is the first gear. Carefully pull that out and let that one sit. Bearing feels nice. That bearing feels nice. I don't see anything on the teeth that are strange. Appears to be some weird, maybe it's just grease right here. Maybe it's just grease. Yeah, it's just grease. And automatic focusing on the camera, of course, isn't going to show you that, but right in here is where I was looking. There's a little bit of grease right there. The bearing does have a stopping point, so you can't shove the bearing on any further. Let's check the other side of the gear for wear. I'm not seeing anything there. No scratches or indicators. Just some grease. Okay, so that's looking good. How about now? Can we spin it now? Not really. Yeah, we can spin it now. It's just not very nice. Okay, so this is the next gear. Give that a visual inspection. Turn it over. Don't see anything out of the ordinary on it. Of course, you know, focus. We don't want you to focus and be able to see what I can see. And a smart camera, not very smart. And there's another bearing inside there, so this is very well constructed. We've got a metal pinion gear in there. Let's check now. Well, it does appear to rotate quite nicely, just by that alone. So maybe it is just a gearing. Let me hit pause. I'll put some more grease in there to give it a little bit. Well, let me see something here. That feels weird. Maybe this isn't going down far enough. Bearing appears to be fine. I'm not seeing any unusual wear marks on the bearing surface area, that case area. Maybe it's just me. So let me hit pause. I'll pack it with some grease and then we'll test it out. Alright, packed a little bit on the motor pinion gear, the reduction gear, and then the other reduction gear. Then I put some on the sliding surfaces that may come into contact with something. Apply some more grease to the rest of the parts and reassemble it and test it. Alright, so I just got through reassembling it. Wipe off. I got grease on my fingers, so that's not going to probably do much good. But anyway, it appears that the gap is closed evenly all the way across. This, I still can't turn it by hand, but what I was noticing is that when I was reassembling it, each gear was very sharp to the touch and to your fingertips, very sharp, and I'd be willing to bet that whatever gear pitch that they are using is probably causing this harshness I'm feeling. I mean, the lack of ability to turn it. It surely can't be that low of a gear ratio, but maybe it is. Maybe I'm still wrong, but either way, the gear teeth feel very sharp to the touch, almost like knife edges, and they could be binding against each other in such a way, and instead of being a little bit rounded like your fingertips, and they can smoothly transition from one tooth to the other. These are more like a sawtooth or something similar to that effect. Now let me give these a final little torquing. First initial torquing, I held the bit in my fingers and ran it down, right? You don't want to over torque anything at first. Now I'm just going to gently insert the bit into each one of these and give it probably a quarter turn, if that. That one didn't quite need a quarter turn. If I can get that little tiny hole. That one needed about a quarter turn. Yeah, about a quarter turn. Yeah, a little less than a quarter turn, I would say. Slipped out of the hole. So let's test it. Let's grab a battery and test it. Let's see, I got a battery here. Got a single cell LiPo right here. It should be roughly 3.5 volts. Let's just hook it up here and see if we see anything, hear anything. We'll connect the red wire to the red wire in a pot and move it out of the way so you guys can see it. Let's elevate. Turn this down a little bit. Maybe that'll help out. And we'll turn it down a little bit. There we go. That's what we'll do. And we'll just touch the wires. Yeah, that doesn't sound very nice. There's something going on in there. Maybe there's metal debris in there that I couldn't see. Maybe if I take it back apart and degrease it with some like carbon choke cleaner or something. Let's reverse the polarity and see what happens. I still hear like a little grinding or something. But it appears to be in working order. Right? That's the important thing. Is it is what it is, and that's only a 3.7 volt or 3.5 volt, whatever it is. It's an old single cell LiPo I had from a drone, and I just simply removed the connectors out of the, what do they call this thing, a JST plug. I just simply removed that plug from there. And the grease I use is I just simply used petroleum jelly. That's all I used. Don't use organic things like Crisco. They will potentially get moldy, hard, or turn into like candle wax. And don't use organic compounds. They don't last as long. If anything, you could be creating more damage than good if you use automotive parts or petroleum parts, right? Not organic shit. I got some thicker grease, but I think it would have been too much for that. And then plus, this stuff here has a very low melting point. So when we get to summer weather, this should actually soften up quite a bit, and if not even melt, and quite possibly help lubricate the bearings inside. So I packed it pretty good full of stuff in there. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed that little breakdown of the Injora transmission. Again, I believe that this is totally made for, or designed to be made for the Traxxas TRX 4M. And of course it's made in my favorite place right there. But it looks like high quality stuff, man. It feels real nice. It's got some weight to it. When I stick this in my Tonka truck, I will have to make some custom mounts. Again, no surprise, because the Tonka truck was never meant to be RC anyway, so I'll have to remake some custom mounts to mount that motor. It says it's reverse rotation somewhere on here. Oh, right there. But to me it sounded the same both directions when I switched the polarity, so I don't know if it really makes a fucking difference one way or the other. But if I got the option to put the motor to the front, that's where I'm going to stick it. But if it only fits in there with the motor to the back, well then so be it. I'm going to stick the motor to the back. We'll see how it goes. I'll play it by ear, and have a good night.